room. Today we have a special guest, Principal Jerry. Hello.
How are you? Good to see you.
Wonderful. Can you take a, you might recognize him if you're on our Facebook page, but we have in the last couple of weeks, we have found a principal who is literally a comedian, and you don't find that often. So can you give us a little bit of your background?
Well, I live in Lexington, Kentucky. I'm principal at Liberty Elementary School, and it's a huge elementary school. And I started doing videos last year during testing week because testing week was very stressful. And so I was doing some videos in the morning, sending them to the teachers on the days we had testing. And then from there, once we started summer break and I was here all by myself, I exercise an hour every day. And so I started doing videos as I was walking in the neighborhood and then videos in the school. And it just kind of helped me pass the time. And I posted them up on a Facebook page and it kind of went from there.
Okay. So that's something that you said you started doing videos during testing week, because we all know that testing is very stressful. What has been, first off, how are you a comedian by nature, or like how did you even because okay, so the first video I saw was about the t-shirts, and yes, I fell out, and all of my writers were like, "Oh my God, this guy is so funny. Who is he?" Yeah. So like how did it? So you're at school, you're by yourself, and you start to do these videos. How do you get your inspiration, or just about that?
Well, I think the inspiration started, during testing. Kentucky's not really a high stakes testing. I know some states are where the evaluations are tied to testing scores and the schools get graded A, B, C, D. And we are high stakes because of the fact that we want our students to do well. And of course, we're held accountable by the district. But to me, as a principal, it's not as stressful and should not be as stressful. Really, it's the end result of what our teachers have been doing. And I get excited about it because it shows what a great job they do, but that's not what teachers feel. So it kind of started as me going around making a big joke and kind of blowing things out of proportion because we're required to strip everything off the walls, which I find, hilarious. And so it kind of started with that. And I started talking about that people were leaving staples up on their bulletin boards and they needed to pull them down because that could help in testing. And so, I just saw that it relaxed the teachers and it really made for an atmosphere of this is important, but yet it's not life-changing. And then from there, I just started thinking about things that I find humorous, and generally they are silly things that we do. And I kind of over-exaggerate them, and it kind of, the humor kind of goes from there.
So as a principal, I know your job is stressful. Have you found that making the videos makes your job a little bit, not bearable, because that would make it seem like you don't like the job, but makes you be able to come home at night kind of a little bit more relaxed?
Yeah. Well, I think my personal, I guess, adage about principals is school climate and culture. And I think that it really helps our school climate and culture, and with me personally, because it just makes things lighthearted. It is a very stressful job. I know teaching is extremely stressful. Principalship, in my opinion, is more stressful because I'm dealing with everybody's classroom and all the parents. But it just really helps me to realize that it's not, nothing is too serious and there's nothing we can't get through together. And I think if we keep that sense of humor and know that we are changing the lives of kids in a positive way, but it doesn't have to so negatively overtake our own lives, that I think it just makes the climate at the school easier. It makes my job easier. It sets the tone. It helps the teachers know that I care about them and I'm not going to come in trying to get them or evaluate them poorly, or I just think it helps with relationships all the way around, and it helps, that end helps, you as an educator, me as a principal, to be more relaxed and enjoy my job and make it something that I want to do for my life and not just something I get up and go to.
Oh, you brought up a really good point when you said it's something I want to do with my life. Have you noticed as you started doing the videos, maybe your teachers who are a little bit more on the edge, or maybe your teachers who are a little bit more defensive, have they kind of warmed a little bit and said, oh my God, he has a really, really funny side. I want to work here, because there's sometimes as a teacher, we all know there are people in our building who are sometimes on the negative side, or sometimes are very abrasive to anything new.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the school climate and culture, which is that whole part, kind of started a long time beforehand. This is my second year at this school, and I was at another school in Bourbon County for 7 years. And I think that I really try to be very personal with the teachers. I've been blessed beyond measure with fantastic staff. So, while teachers get down and, we can sometimes be negative, I've kind of been blessed to be able to, I don't want to say handle because that sounds bad, to be able to help encourage those teachers. And I think that that's, as a principal, encouraging teachers that are getting stressed because they're stressed for a reason. They may be negative for a reason. So it has helped. But I feel like we kind of had that atmosphere beforehand. I have a fantastic staff, more than I could ever ask for. And we keep staff meetings lighthearted. We start out our school year with a climate and culture, talking about our expectations for teachers and for each other as professionals, our expectation for the way we deal with students and teachers. So I kind of feel like we've set the tone around that, and the videos have come into play afterwards. So it does help because they know that I goof off. A lot of people will write in saying, "Oh, you're great. Your teachers must love you." Well, I'm sure they all don't feel that way, but I think we are a family, and I think that we have created that culture. Not just me. It's not a me. It's everybody being lighthearted, understanding each other, knowing that we all have faults, and kind of accepting each other for that.
And I think you hit the nail on the head, because I've been in so many schools where the climate has been off. And so you can't really get anything done when the climate is wrong and everything, kind of exasperates that.
Right.
So let me ask you, because you've talked about behavior management, you talked about, when you don't like your principal and you have these shirts, and do us a favor and tell us, what's the funniest thing that teachers do that we don't realize is so funny? Like from a principal standpoint, that when you see it, that you're just like, you have to go in your office and be like, oh my God, what?
Well, I think it's humorous as a principal. I don't know if it's humorous as an outright laugh, but it is humorous to me that teachers don't think that principals know everything, because we do know everything. There's always somebody. I like to think I know things because I do have an open door policy, and it kind of shoots me in the foot sometimes. And I would like teachers to always come in and talk to me about things. But even if you don't have that atmosphere, there's always a teacher that's willing to come in and tell you whatever's going on. And I think it's funny that sometimes teachers don't realize that no matter what's going on and what's being said and how people feel, positive and negative, the principals know. So, that's an adage out there to teachers. No matter what happens, it's kind of like parents. Your parents always end up finding out. No matter what happens, the principal always ends up finding out, good or bad.
Yes. Okay. So as a principal, you see, because we think, oh, the principal doesn't know, but in reality, the principal is just sitting there like, I know this. How do I fix it? Or, how do I address it? Or what do I do? What about the times when you talk about the behavior management system for the students? Do the students, when they see they probably don't even, as elementary school students, it's probably very hard for them to recognize that, the humor in when they're called to you.
Right.
But what have you noticed about with your sense of humor? I'm sure it shows, like, as you work, do the students respond to it? Or are they just like, we love him? Or like, how is it in that aspect?
Well, I think that's one of the things that we as educators need to teach our kids is they need to understand sarcasm and they need to understand humor. Mm-hmm. Kids and the ones that you expect, they get nervous when they come into the office because they know, even if it's for a good thing, because they're coming to the principal's office. But I really try to set a tone that, it's not a bad thing. It's like what we teach our kids for policemen. They're there to help you. And yes, it could be nerve-wracking if you've done something wrong, but if you've not, then they're there to help you. So we do a lot of fun things here. Over Christmas, we did elves, and so we used a system to change our voices, and we did elves over the intercom and said that all the buses were broken down, so the kids would have to stay overnight, and the kids thought that was funny. And for our fundraiser, I'm not sure if you've seen it on YouTube, but my assistant, who is unbelievable, we had to kiss a pig last year because they raised kiss a chicken last year, and this year we had to kiss a pig. And so it's amazing to me that when you break that barrier with the kids, that even now when they come in, they will laugh, and for weeks they'll say, "Oh, we saw you kiss a pig. We saw you kiss a pig." and because they don't see us as educators and me as a principal in the light of somebody who is humorous and loves them and cares about them. So I think that we have the ability to set that tone, and teachers do. You can walk in and see a teacher's classroom who's well managed, but yet the kids know that they love them. They get their sense of humor, and I think that's part of education. We need to be well-rounded in all those areas, and that's what the kids will remember.
That's very good points. What do you see? So yeah, I know you have a YouTube page, you have a Facebook page. So where do you see this going? In the Atlanta area, there's a couple of comedy nights just for teachers. There are
Really?
Yes, they just do comedy,
Yeah.
and they come and so where do you see this going? What are your hopes? Do you is there like a principal? Like, I know several times in schools I've worked at, there's a teacher chat where teachers kind of tell each other things across schools and let them know.
Yeah.
Is there one for principal? Like, are the principals sharing these videos? So, like, tell us all of that.
Yeah. Well, I had one video that went I don't even know what you would say went viral, but the one video that really kind of blew everything out, got a lot of good comments from. My hope, my hope is I just continue doing them because they really are helpful for me. That help me in my exercise, and it just really helps me not to take myself so seriously. I enjoy doing workshops. I was a youth minister for 9 years and did speaking at conferences, and so I enjoy that. And so I've already gotten a couple offers to come down to some schools and do some climate and culture workshops. And so, I hope that. I mean, I love my job. I would never want it to be anything but other than a principal. But I do like the idea that it's opening up some doors and starting some conversation, like even with this. I enjoy this. I've had a lot of people always tell me to blog. And I'm really considering that. I write exactly the way I speak. So that sometimes, it's not eloquent literature and on that high level. So sometimes I get nervous about that because when you read an email or something I've written, it sounds like exactly what I'm talking. So I hope that might open some doors to maybe doing some professional development, maybe speaking at some conferences. I would absolutely love to be on TED Talks sometime. That's a huge goal, but I think that those people that love that professionally and listen to TED Talks, overall, right now, my goal is just to continue and have fun. It's been great meeting people. I've had messages from all over the world, which just amazes me. You think that you're in this little small paradigm of Lexington and Kentucky and the U.S. and, it amazes me to get, information from South America and Nova Scotia and all these places. So right now, my goal is just to keep on. I'm enjoying it. I'm anxious to see what happens at the first couple professional developments I do, and then maybe try to speak some, but right now just kind of keep on keeping on.
That's a really good, I really love that point. And I think it would be because so many principals I've worked with, they've been comedians behind doors, but in front of the staff they're very much like,
right,
I have to be very serious. And I try to tell them, people are relatable, and that's why when I watched your videos I found it so humorous because I'm like, it's relatable. It shows you're a person. It shows you have a sense of humor. So we hope everything goes your way. We hope you have 1 million YouTube views, and we hope that you, really pursue this because this is something. School climate is a big deal at school.
It is.
It is a big deal, and people cannot feed the beast. So we really appreciate that. Can you tell everybody your YouTube channel, your Facebook page?
It's Lex Prin, L-E-X as in Lexington, P-R-I-N, principal. I didn't want to put Prince because it sounds, royalty or anything. But yeah, the YouTube channel is L-E-X, P-R-N-C, 2 separate words, Lex Prin. And then I set up a page because I was using my Facebook personal page and I got to the 5,000 people, and I'm probably going to weed that out. Not that I don't love that, but when I make a comment, then the people that comment, the teachers here in town, the ones that I know, don't want to comment because they get 5,000 other comments. So I made a page, and it's going really well too. And so I would love for people to like that because that's where I'm posting my videos now and trying to kind of get away from the personal Facebook page, but I hate to even call it a fan page, but it's the page. And then I'm posting them on YouTube, but I haven't kind of made that transition because I don't quite know how that works. And I'm enjoying the Facebook people. So I've got the Lex Prin, and then I've got the principals page that comes off of my webpage, and kind of going from there.
All right. So we're going to talk afterwards. Everybody, please check out his webpage, check out his YouTube, Facebook, friend him. If you guys have a conference that you want him to come and do a professional workshop, please contact him, because we need to empower other teachers, other principals. And, you know, I hate when I go to a conference and I hear like an entertainer is entertaining teachers. You know, our humor is so weird that we really don't care that Chelsea Clinton is coming and speaking to us. I mean, really, we don't. We really would be much more receptive to one of our own getting up there and talking about it. So we will definitely talk. You guys follow us. You already know we're The Educators Room, www.theeducatorsroom.com, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank